Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Modco podcast. First, I would like to start this episode off by saying Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, bonus moms, aunties, teachers, grandmas, nanas, just everyone. If you've been an influence in a child's life, made a difference in a child's life, Happy Mother's Day to you. And on this episode, I have my first guest, who is a very special guest, and it is my mommy. Say hello, mommy.
Hello, everyone.
So I kind of talked her into doing this. So this should be a fun episode. But I wanted to bring her on to today's episode because if anybody likes organizing more than me, it's her. So I just wanted her to give you some of the tips and some of the things that she will not necessarily tips because she's looking at me funny over here, but just tell you some of the things that she likes to do to stay organized and that helps her to stay organized. So I guess those are tips, but she didn't like it when I used the word tips. So, all right. Well, thank you for joining me today, Mommy. What would you like to say to everyone?
First of all, good morning, everyone. Pray and hope everyone is having a blessed day. Giving the Lord the praise and the glory for waking us all up this morning. I would just like to say to stay organized. I just believe that when you come home or if you're at home, everything have a place. So if you put your stuff where you got it from, then everything will stay in place. You don't come in and just drop something here, drop something there, or leave something here and say, oh, I'll get it tomorrow, I'll get it the next day. You come in, you hang up your clothes if you're going to wear them again. If you're not, you put them in a dirty basket, and it'll be so simple. It's just simple to put stuff back where you got it from or make a space for that and not just leave everything laying around.
So does any of this sound familiar to you all? We talked about this one episode ago, maybe 2 episodes ago. I can't remember, but that everything has a place. As a kid, this drove me absolutely insane. And it would always drive me insane when my mom would be like, hey, can you go bring me my coat or something? And I'm like, well, I don't see it. And she'd tell me exactly where it was. And I'm like, I looked there and it wasn't there. I still think that she somehow magically disappeared into thin air, put it there, then reappeared back to where she was just to make me feel like I was crazy for not finding it. But as an adult, I completely get it and I completely understand about putting stuff back in its place because it makes it so much easier to find later on and it saves you time.
That is true. Yes, she was a little unorganized when she was a child. Not a little, a lot. She have gotten better, tried to instill that in her head. But I know everyone is not going to always put stuff back where you got it from or put it in place or find a place. It's much easier for you to just drop it there and say you'll get it later. And then later run into days and weeks and you keep dropping. So everything keep piling up. And then you look and say, oh, this is a mess. This is something got to go. I got to do this. I got to get rid of this. And eventually you do, some people, and eventually some don't. You continue to add to it. But just to me, the only way to stay organized is to put stuff where it goes. And if you do that, you'll stay not completely, but close to it.
I think the moment, I won't say the exact moment, but I think one of my aha moments when it came to putting stuff back and being organized, I had to be, I don't know, maybe about 12 or 13, and you had just had surgery and you couldn't walk up the stairs. And so I was so excited because I was like, yes, I don't have to clean my room up. I can just do whatever. And I was just so excited just to be able to throw my stuff all around my room and just have everything everywhere. Well, one, I couldn't find anything. And two, when it was time to clean up, I looked around at the mess in my room and I was like, what did I do? Now I have to sit here and clean all this up. And it took me hours to clean it up. And I was just like, I don't ever want to go through this again. So I think that was one of my aha moments of trying to get organized and realizing that you really should put stuff back where it belongs because it does help.
I believe if you also clean out your closet and get rid of things that you know you're not going to wear, like some people keep stuff that they don't have 30 years ago and keep saying, oh, I'm going to wear this again. I'm going to wear this again. And even you might be able to fit it, but that don't necessarily mean you're going to wear it again. So I always literally every 6 months clean out my closet, got rid of clothes, got rid of shoes, and getting rid of shoes was one of my hardest things and still is because I love shoes. But I always went through my closet every 6 months. Basically, I taught my daughter that. I don't know that she still do it or not.
I don't.
But I base it every 6 months, but literally go through my closet and get rid of clothes and shoes and stuff that I know I wasn't going to wear again. It wasn't easy, but I did it because I cannot stand to go in my closet and trying to find something in my hand. It's all stuck, or I'm stretching my hand because I have so many clothes in there that I can't have no space to pull nothing out. So that's another tip. If you get rid of things that you know you're not going to use, not just clothes and shoes, household stuff like dishes. A lot of times you buy a whole bunch of more dishes and things that you don't need. So just get rid of it every so often. Don't go 5 or 6 years and you custom buying the same thing over and over and never get rid of anything. So that's another tip to stay organized, at least your closets anyway, and throw away papers.
Yes, throw away papers. So I don't go through my closet every 6 months, maybe, and I'm like, well, what is this? Where did this come from? And I'm think I haven't wore this in forever. Then I'll say, okay, it's time to clean up my closet. And getting rid of papers, that is definitely another thing. Your kids' artwork, yes, I know we all love them. I do still have a bunch of my kids' artwork, but instead of just having it laying around everywhere, put it in a folder or a binder that you can keep it and you know where it's at. So whenever they get something new, you can put it in there. And then every now and then you can go through that stuff and you can get rid of some of those.
And to all parents who have adult kids and their stuff is still at your house, guess what? And they have their own house, tell them to come and get it.
I don't think
And
that's fair.
if they don't get it in a length of time, pack it up and take it to them. That would organize your house also, getting rid of other people's stuff like your kids, your adult kids.
Do you see the emphasis that she's putting on adult kids? I mean, she may or may not have packed up some of my stuff and brought it to my house, but I just don't feel like that's fair because a lot of it's stuff that she collected and stuff that she wanted to hold on to. I didn't ask her to hold on to it. So I feel if she wanted to hold on to it, then she should keep it at her house. I mean, it makes sense to me. If it was something that I decided to hold on to, then yeah, bring it to me. But if she wanted to hold on to it, she decided to hold on to my batons. Now she wants to give them to me. I didn't want to hold on to them.
Then when things are like that, that you hold on to a lot of your kids' stuff, and when they get grown and they don't want it anymore, then you get rid of it. Because I do. Stuff that I held on to her for her that she didn't want anymore. What I wanted, I kept. What I didn't, I got rid of. And stuff what she wanted, she still wanted me to keep it at my house.
Because I feel like that's what parents are supposed to do. They're supposed to keep your childhood stuff at their house. Just my thoughts, but clearly we're in a disagreement over here about it.
Yes. We are.
Another fun fact, I guess I can say about my mom and her organizing. So a lot of people like to put stuff under the bed to organize it, especially if they don't have a lot of space, a lot of closet space, a lot of storage space. You may be hearing her sign over here in the background. They will put stuff under their bed. They make bins that can go under your bed for you to put stuff in there. My mother cannot stand that. I was not allowed to have absolutely anything under my bed growing up. I mean, anything. And she would check to make sure that there was nothing being stored under the bed. And she absolutely freaked out when she found out that we let our son keep some of his toys under the bed in this little container looking thingy. I think it was actually I know what it was. It was the tabletop for his dresser when he was a baby, where you had like the changing table. And so now we just use it to let him organize his toys under the bed. She cannot stand it.
No, I cannot. And dishes in the sink. I think you should never, ever leave dishes in the sink. You should always wash your dishes. Put them up. Don't just leave them. Once you wash them, don't just leave them out for days neither. Put them up. Don't go to bed with dishes in your sink.
And when she says don't go to bed with dishes in your sink, she means a fork. This is why I started using plastic forks and plastic silverware as a child and a teenager, because if I wanted a snack, I didn't want to wash a spoon at 11 o'clock at night after I got a snack, and I couldn't leave it in the sink. You know what solves that problem? Plastic. You throw it in the trash.
That's laziness. But if it works, then that's fine. Just don't leave the dishes in the sink.
She calls it lazy. I call it convenient and thinking smart.
That's basically all I can say about being organized. I hope it helps someone. No, I'm not just a neat freak, but
yes, she is.
I do like for stuff to be in place and to be able, if you come to someone's house, to have a seat. So I always been like that. My mom, I guess with the dishes thing, when I was young, like my daughter said, my mom used to tell us, don't leave any dishes in the sink. And sometimes, when you cook, back in those days, you might burn something and it'd be stuck in there. So you had to let it soak overnight. And we would literally hide it somewhere so my mom wouldn't see it. And then the next day we would clean it. But as I got older, I was like, you're right. Why do you leave dishes in the sink? That is so gross. So, no, leaving dishes in the sink more so than going through your closet every 6 months.
So they always say as you get older, all of a sudden you turn around and you realize you say something, you're like, wait, when did my mom get here? So as you can see, this is a trickling effect. I looked up one day and I was like, wait, when did I turn into my mom? She looked up one day and she said, wait, when did I turn into my mom? So it really is true. At some point in time, some parts of you really do turn into your mom. And also when she says that she's not a neat freak, yes, she is. And she can spot like the teeniest, tiniest piece of paper on a carpet that no one else will possibly see. And you'll be walking by and she'll say, you need to pick that up. And I'm looking around like, pick what up? And she's like, that piece of paper right there. Piece of paper right where? And then she comes and points it out and I was like, there's no way you could have saw that. And my son is just like that. He'll be like, oh, I picked this up. And I'm like, you picked up what? And I look in his hand and you can barely see anything there. And I'm like, you got that from your gaga. And it is driving me crazy. But I hope you all enjoy this episode. I thank my mommy for being on this with me. As I said a few minutes ago, sometimes you do look up and you're like, hey, I turned into my mom here. It's not always a bad thing. So you got something you want to add, Mom?
Just happy Mother's Day to everyone. And always remember, Mother's Day is every day, but that special day is set aside for us to celebrate. So enjoy, be blessed, and happiness to everyone.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you all again so much. And thank you again, Mommy, for being on this episode. And I will see you all next week. Thanks for listening to the Modco podcast. Make sure to rate and follow the show everywhere you listen to podcasts, including Spotify. Also, be sure to turn on your episode notification and auto download so you never miss an episode.